So this morning we're going to be working with Miss Duchess in more social indoor environments. It's a bit on the cooler side, so that works out well. We're going to be starting off though first with her getting some energy and excitement out, just being back in the shopping center by itself, and then we'll be moving along indoors and guiding you guys through the process of making sure that she gets plenty of relief, both with her potty behaviors and then also with her energy and excitement before going into social situations. It'll just help ease into the final week where we will be doing a lot more work with her vest on, and a lot more of her behaviors will be more strict. So right now we're just using the leash more as a boundary. Want her to run out some of this energy as much as possible, but at the same time not learn to pull. So whenever she does hit the end of the lead, she gets drawn back in. There'll be slight minor corrections here using the slip lead. So we want to make sure that we still keep the leash, good girl, as loose as possible with her. We need to start recognizing, or she needs to start recognizing that pressure is going to become more of a clear signal to redirect or stop what she's doing. She's been doing really good in the neighborhood practice as well as in a park setting. So it's going to mostly depend on a lot of her work around people in a social setting. We'll also be practicing with her an extended sit stay for when she needs to be out and the parents are either in a meeting or in a restaurant setting. Hi, how you doing? Wait. Good girl, good wait. Thank you. Good girl. Good. Hi. Sorry, she's very excited. Yeah, you can say hi. Sure.
Whoa!
Good girl.
She's like Jessie used to be, huh?
Thank you guys. Good girl. Sit. Good job. All right. So that was a good example. We had both an opportunity to have her refocus on us and maintain composure, gave her the ability to interact and have fun, and then regained composure. So that was really good practice for her. We had a little bit more time and space. We'd practice more of a sit and release, but because they were walking by us and we were already in the situation, we just made do with those two practices. Ideally, we'll want to try to fit in that third one whenever possible too, so that way she's remaining focused on us, and then we release her to do her interactions. So here, just allowing her to get some smells in. We'll have a good kind of rest area for the pups at the end of the street. Good girl, thank you. Yes, very good. So now she's already starting to calm down a little bit more and volunteer her attention to me, which is perfect. Is that the initial hurdle is going to be kind of her main hurdles anyways, is just the fact that she just gets so excited. once you're able to notch her down a little bit, either through letting that energy and excitement out or through a couple corrections, then she definitely performs much better. Good girl. Yes. I want to be careful there because I can't see what's in the bushes. And make sure that she can't get into anything that she shouldn't be. Almost looked like she was about to use the bathroom there, but then got distracted by things. Bless you. Good girl. Yes. In a separate video, we'll be showcasing what her response should be if the handler is going to be in any type of duress or stress or anxiety. Good girl. Yes, thank you. Good girl. Thank you. And we'll definitely be practicing that a lot this weekend. For now, though, this session will still kind of focus just on her being out in public, and then especially going to be in new stores around more people. Luckily, around the holiday season, everything gets really busy, so it's easier to get this kind of practice in. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, good weight. Thank you. So it's easier to get this kind of practice in. But the important thing will be to maintain this kind of practice. It's always easier to start off on locations where you're going to be frequenting the most often, and then build from there into practicing in environments where you'll only be rarely. You'll still want to try to preemptively get practice in before you actually have to be in that area. Good example is going to the boardwalk or the beach, or camping and hiking. At least for a session or two to see how she will react and how much work she'll need in those brand new environments. And that will just help to make it a lot less stressful when you have to be in that situation, either taking care of something or hopefully on vacation or recreational visit. Doing well on the slip lead. Mostly loose now, which is good. Whenever she does feel the tension, she's responding appropriately. With her being so small, it's really important that we don't hurt her too much in trying to give her any corrections. That's why we spent a lot of time on making her more responsive to less pressure, so that way less pressure is needed, and then you'll be able to apply more pressure when necessary in those really exciting circumstances. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and try to have her relieve herself before we go into the next area. We'll see if she actually needs to. If not, there's going to be one more opportunity with another grassy area right by the target before we go in. Yes, good girl. Thank you, good girl. We were warming up with some heel work earlier on this morning, and we'll be executing that inside the store. I don't want to do too much more of a warm-up because I want to see how much of a transition and how much work we'll need inside the actual store when it's really exciting. Good girl. Do one more lap around this little grassy island. Hi. Good girl. Good girl. And then we'll head back on towards the target. Like with the rest of the training, we want to ease into it. That way we can avoid having to give so many corrections and give her an opportunity to learn because she's not too excited. Gonna have her wait here with me. Yes, good girl, good wait. It's one of those times too where we can practice extending the sit-stay wait beyond what we actually need. So there's pretty much no cars coming and it's very quiet right now. Go ahead and release her. Good girl. Come. So here, she's becoming very excited and focused on those in front and the person coming towards. Come. Good girl. Good girl. Wait. Good girl. Yes. Very good, thank you. Good girl. Also from a different angle, but her response when you get down and cover your eyes or your face should be her coming over to you and paying attention to you, as well as maintaining composure. Good girl. As opposed to jumping too much. Now, if the jumping and the excitement and comfort is something that the parents will need, then we can always modify that later on. Just wanted to get one good auto response in while we're still out working with her, just to show her parents that it can be done, but it'll definitely still need to be catered to the handlers and what they actually need. Stay. Good girl. Good stay. Come. So starting to give her little bits of feedback through the leash here. Trying to keep it mostly loose. Still trying to burn off some of that energy and excitement. Most of it, though, will still happen whenever she sees somebody. So that was really good there. Good girl. Good girl. Stay. Thank you. Good girl. Very good. All right. So, good girl. Good girl, yes, thank you. With me? Very good. Good girl. She's also starting to volunteer healing on her own too in public spaces, which is really good to see. So she needs a break here. Good girl. We'll be doing some shopping cart work with her, as well as just some sit stays. And depending on how well she does, we'll continue on working with the walking behaviors inside as well. Letting her explore, use her nose a little bit, and keep an eye to make sure she doesn't get into anything. Pretty sure that might be gum there, but she went over it, so that's fine. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, with me? Good girl, with me? Yes, good. It's interesting because she has the auto response down really well when, gonna get her out of the mud there, when I have her recall to me with my hands in my face. But then when she recalls to me regularly, she's usually very excited and jumping. Yes, good girl. Thank you. So that was really good because she controlled herself off the pressure that she initialized on her own. She was interested in somebody. Yes, good girl. So she's learning the proper responses when there's leash pressure. So that way, in case her handlers need any additional help, they'll be able to use her verbal commands as well on top of those things. We want as much of the work to be automatic through the leash as possible, especially when out in public. We want her parents to be able to just concentrate on, what they're out there to do or work on, as opposed to having to work with their pup. Okay. So here, she's already starting to pull to go in. You can go ahead and walk by that for now. May borrow one of these shopping carts here. Take those in with us. But before we head in, go ahead and give her one more opportunity to relieve herself outside. Good girl, very good. Okay, let's go. Good job. Letting her go to explore this grassy area, especially anywhere public with the possibility of food. Want to still keep a close eye on her while she's exploring the environment. She's more distracted with the person there than anything else. She did go to the bathroom earlier today. We just want to give her another opportunity before we go inside to relieve herself if necessary. Yes, good girl. Thank you. So you can go ahead and borrow one of these shopping carts that was left out here. We want to see how scared she is of it. A lot of times they see them, but they're not usually so close to them. And then also being this close, you have the sound of it shaking outside to contest with. Usually on the smoother floors inside, it won't be as bad, right? But I'm just giving her an opportunity right now out here to get used to it. Good girl. Okay. See the uncertainty in the new space already. Nose is on the ground. I'm gonna start off when it's slower in the store because we're gonna probably need some more space and time. Good girl. To get her settled in. And then by the end, should be able to handle a much busier environment. Okay. Giving her some leeway here. Then back in. Yes. Good girl. Gonna try to find moments of quiet time or space to help her get some of that anxiousness or the excitement out. And you can tell here now that we're inside that there's a lot less sound through the cart, unless of course you end up with one of those rickety ones. Good girl. Good girl. Gonna get her used to walking behind, next to us. You can tell most of what she is uncertain of is still just the cart. So trying to let her just get used to it without forcing her too much. We want to give her a break if she seems too stressed out, like with the flag, or too startled. But at the same time, we'll also need to make sure that she doesn't just run away from something that she's unsure or afraid of, especially out in a public setting where that can end up getting her in more trouble than anything else. We want her to still be able to focus on us and remain calm. Good girl, very good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give her a little bit more freedom on the lead now, just because we're in a very quiet spot at the store. I want her to kind of work around us in the cart on her own here. She's got to learn through the leash pressure too, and to not go in front of the cart or underneath the wheels. We'll step in to help if necessary. But so far, she's doing really well. Got all the TVs and stuff on sale now for the Black Friday. I'm just trying to fill in some gaps here with talking about things. If the music is too loud and I'll have to mute the audio because of the music in the store, what I'll just do is just caption over any points that we have to touch base on during the training. Good girl, come. Good. Okay. Stay. Thank you, good girl. So there, somebody was coming in closer, so we went ahead and preemptively got her attention and got her to remain composed. I also hear children in the distance, so what we're gonna do now is switch back to having her on a shorter lead, and we'll switch her back over to the left side. I think that's what her father is gonna be used to. Okay. There we go, good. And we want her to get comfortable just dropping behind the cart and walking next to us when necessary. She'll probably want to explore, and she's got some kids and stuff there that she'll want to be interested in. But now in this situation, I'm gonna have to now start denying that initially and kind of just moving on. Moving on quickly will just help her to focus on maintaining her distance with us. And help her with not getting so distracted with everybody else and everything else on the floor. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and give her a little bit of a break from the walking. Still trying to just get her used to, I think, the cart. This way, she'll still be able to observe everything that's going on around, but we also removed the distraction of her nose right now, which is really making it hard for her to focus on us and walk nicely, right? We want to try to make sure that we're not getting in anybody's way or anything. Once again, the music is going to be up a little bit louder here. Without any background noise, we may have to mute the audio again. So I'm gonna try to make sure I don't discuss anything too important right now until we can get to another quieter spot. So you can kind of see here, she's doing much better here. She doesn't have to concentrate on moving and constantly getting distracted by her nose. Able to relax a little bit, even though she's definitely not used to being in a shopping cart, which is understandable. It's just something that we'll have to get her used to over time. And working at a Target and a Walmart, you can even have the carts at the Home Depot and the Lowe's as well. Those are going to be a little bit louder, so it's going to be important that we get her used to those as well so it doesn't startle her. But it's going to be, a lot of the training will now be getting her used to being in places where we're used to being, but dogs are not used to being, right? So really getting her used to things like the grocery store, the Target, shoe store. Pretty much we're going to try to hit up every possible store as much as possible to get her out in different environments and practice her stability while we're desensitizing her to all these new social situations. Lots of people, lots of smells. Right now it's more smells and more just new environments than actually people. But you can still tell, especially when she saw the kid there, that it's going to be something that piques her interest. Good girl. Good girl. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll wheel her back outside to see if she needs a break. And I said, especially when it seems like she's under a little bit of stress or she's not sure of the situation, we'll want to make sure that we give her extra opportunities outside to relieve herself as possible. And that's also a great way to break up the situation for her, kind of give her a break from this new environment, because it doesn't seem like much to us, but just the shaking of the cart, the sound of it, the bumps, being in a new environment with new smells, all those things can be a lot for her. So we want to try to break it up as much as possible and allow her to process these things in separate segments and pieces. And give her plenty of breaks in between. Good girl. All right, so we did the first round here with the cart. We'll probably try a round without the cart too, and then I'll give her an extended break. She's doing well though. You can tell back out here right away the difference between her walking behaviors and her ability to focus, right? It's just not on the new floor. She even stops again, refocuses. Good. And so that's where, just when we really need to focus on getting her to those new social locations, so that way we can start practicing everything that she does know, so she can actually work through things a lot easier. Well, I'll just kind of walk with her for a little bit here. Make sure she doesn't get into any of the trash. I brought both bags as well as sanitary wipes in case she does have accidents in the store. Most places like the pet store or the home improvement stores will have those items available to clean up, but other places that generally don't allow pets in, like the Target and the Walmart, will not. So we want to try to make it as easy as possible on the staff there in case we do have an accident. And it's always good to have those things on you anyways. Like in this case here, this person didn't pick up after their dog. That way we can still be good, responsible citizens. Good girl, good pee-pee. Good girl. Okay. So here, good. We're just gonna use some leash pressure to get her away from those things. All right. Go ahead and head back in. We're gonna do another round quickly through the front and maybe do some leash work and some sit stays as well. Yes, good girl, good. We want to practice as many of those opportunities as possible too. And it'll be a lot easier inside, but sometimes it can be too much. So we want her to see somebody, be interested, but then remain composed, and then redirect her attention and focus back onto us. Good girl. We want to do our best to stay out of everybody's way too. Good girl. This is while we're practicing. Very good. Good girl. We'll try to keep her on the left as much as possible, but it can be difficult for me just because I have to keep switching hands with the camera as well. Good. So you can really tell now without the cart that she seems a lot more relaxed, right? The walking behavior is definitely a little bit better. And now what's left is just being distracted and excited towards everybody else around. A little bit of the floor. That's not nearly as bad as it was before. So we're gonna definitely need to focus on her around carts. Good girl. Yes, good job. All right. So notice somebody behind, trying to move out of the way. Good girl. Good girl. Good, very good. A little bit of tension, but not too bad. You said it's gonna be harder for her in this environment just because people are gonna be closer to her space, right? Good girl. But she's still doing really well. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do a hard turn here. Good girl. And what I'll be looking for is we have a crowd of people coming up here around in front. Good girl. I want to see if we do the auto response, if she'll still be able to maintain focus on me or if she'll get distracted by everybody else around. Good girl, and she did, so that was really good. Good girl. We'll wait for everybody to pass. And like I said, her handler's auto response may be different depending on what her parents need, but we have a good general one built in for her right now. The main thing is for her to be able to refocus even when there's a lot going on around her, especially when the handler is in duress. So we'll try it again here. This side aisle will be a good spot, right? Because we're gonna have people walking all around in front. And she's already focused, which is good. Go ahead and give her a small treat. Good. Now it's a little bit too quiet, which is fine. We can still practice those auto responses, but we'll want to at least pull her attention from one or two people that are around if possible, just because we've been able to get her plenty of practice without any distractions, of course, inside. And the real test and how we're gonna be able to kind of advance the behavior, good girl, and the training is to make sure that she can still do it even when there's distractions around. Like here, there's the kid over there, and I'll act like I'm in distress. Good girl. Very good. All right. Good girl. So we'll go ahead and give her a little break now. She's been doing really well, and you want to try to end off on a good note when possible. But we have a lot of people that are going to be leaving here through the exit, so we'll practice a couple more times her auto response. Just waiting for people to come by and for her to get distracted. She's maintaining focus really good already, which is good. Good girl, very good. Right, so getting distracted by new noises. She's got the motor cart going on. Got lots of people, good. She's able to redirect focus, maintain composure onto us. What we'll be looking for in particular here is when somebody goes by and it's too much, like right there, and it breaks her focus. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself back in duress, and she refocuses back onto me. Good girl. Great. All right, we'll go ahead and end there.